Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 86 of my survival series. So, this episode, we're kind of rounding up to episode 90, where at that point, the preparations for episode 100 begin, the final episode of the series. So, in this episode, I got some pretty big plans, and they're actually related to up in the Sky Village. But first, the haiku and the limerick. Our haiku for this episode is haikus for horses? Why is it like that? Okay, haikus for horses into a haiku format? That's ridiculous. Okay, that's a bit worrying, the fact that the 7-syllable one is appearing at the end rather than in the middle. But okay, that's a haiku for this episode. And now for the limerick. Our limerick is, a canna exceedingly canny, what a shock to find out you have a twin. I'm glad it's all there, when he carries a pole, the replacement I bought was too tall. Like I said, at some point these things will make sense. At some point. I guess today is not that day. So here we go. This episode is going to be all about the Sky Village. Okay, this is actually a really serious issue, which is why I've gone and started troubleshooting. So I'm starting to troubleshoot the limerick and haiku generator because it seems to have broken with the 1.14 update. So here we go. Here is the limerick. An actual real limerick that I've artificially broken to kind of... So this is the only limerick that's going to be generated when I press the button. Here it is. There once was a man from Calcutta who had such a terrible stutter. And so the next two pieces of paper would be b-b-b-b-b, and here it's actually not that. And then it ends with b-b-b-b-b-b-b. So now the middle dropper here is something totally random. It's saying, when asked why so blue, because I'm intentionally trying to see if it will output these pieces of paper in the correct order. And all the other pieces of paper I've put into these chests. I'm thinking doing the same thing for the haiku generator, just to make sure it actually works correctly. So here we go. Let's just generate this one limerick, and see what's going wrong with the system. So here we go. It's coming around. There we go. So let's see. There once was a man from Calcutta. Yeah. Here's the who had such a terrible stutter. And then this is supposed to be the third line. I wonder why it's doing that. So, here's how actually this system works. Oh, maybe I should be actually putting these in the correct order. So here's how the system works. What happens is a pulse comes through this redstone circuit and powers all 5 droppers at exactly the same time. Now, the reason why it comes out in the correct order is because it's ordered based on the hoppers. So this dropper, since it's closest to this dropper over there that actually outputs the limericks, this dropper outputs the first line, which would be, there once was a man from Calcutta. Then the next dropper comes along, because it's the next hopper in the chain, that's the next item that comes to that hopper stream. So let's then do this, and then that, and then that. So there's really 2 sources of error here. One is these droppers here are dropping their items in the incorrect order, which I would have no idea how to solve. And then the other possible source of issue, which I just thought of, is that this dropper is incorrect, the one that actually outputs the limerick at the end. So let's real quick test and do a scientific experiment in Minecraft and see if these... So If it outputs through this hopper in the incorrect order, then it's these 5 droppers that are causing the issue. If it's coming through this hopper in the correct order, then it's this dropper that's being problematic. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So all 5 of these droppers should have been powered now. So here they come. The one was a man from Calcutta. Aha. So it's these 5 droppers that are dispensing their pieces of paper in the incorrect order. Okay. So this dropper is doing its job. It's just outputting whatever pieces of paper come through. And so it's the pieces of paper that are coming through that are incorrect. And the reason they're coming through incorrectly is because the droppers are being powered wrong. Somehow. I have no idea how. It makes no sense that the item coming out of this dropper here would be the second theme coming through the hopper stream. It makes absolutely no sense. When in doubt, throw observers at the problem. Yeah, that's kind of my redstone motto for this survival world, where I have literally shulker boxes full of observers. I mean, I threw observers at the problem of a malfunctioning item elevator, and this is the wall of observers that comes from it. So it's not an issue whatsoever to just throw observers at the solution, at making at least the Limerick generator work correctly. So here we go. This should work. Here we go. So I have observers individually powering the mechanism, so that it's guaranteed that the droppers are being clicked in the correct order, or powered in the correct order. So here we go. That's such a terrible stutter. When asked why I saw blue. Okay, this works. So now all we need to do is actually check and make sure that the observers don't get double powered. So let's see. In these droppers, I'm gonna put in this particular limerick, as well as, let's see. Let's throw in this limerick and also just random garbage items. And this way we can ensure that the droppers are not being double powered, because if they're being double powered, we're going to end up with 2 limericks, and that's no good. So there we go. Because I only have enough limericks to last up to episode 100. So let's just real quick just dump this stuff into this chest, and then press the button. That's not good. I should only have received 5 items, even if some of them are garbage. And it seems 3 of... What? 3 of these droppers are being double powered, but the 4th and 5th one is not? What in the world is going on? I have a hunch this is just strange observer mechanics. So, let's test that. Okay, each piston is going off once, but the droppers are being powered twice. Okay, I tested this system, and I got only 5 items, which is perfect. So that means that this system works, it outputs the items in the correct order, and it only gives 1 item. So, the Limerick generator is working again. Hooray! Let's now get the haiku generator working. And that's pretty much just going to be the exact same system. So, turns out the issue with the double outputting, it's that the droppers count as full blocks, so redstone signals can go through them and power other droppers. So there we go. It's now time to... I'm now going to pack up after I fix all those issues, and then yeah, we can get on with the episode. So in case you have no idea what I'm talking about, this right here is the Sky Village. So It's essentially a giant pathway, village style pathway, where I've built a peaceful garden with a mini Parthenon. I've built this little chunk here that seems to be just going nowhere, but it goes right over the Savannah lava lake over there. It goes right past a giant shulker elevator, and it's carried by a giant zeppelin. Oh, and also, any new villagers that come into the village will be dropped into the Christmas landing pad. So, yeah, so far this village only has 2 houses. And, yeah, this isn't much of a village if it only has 2 houses. Also, I'm kind of wanting to make it look like this Zeppelin. The person who was driving the Zeppelin is a little bit inept and crashed the village into this island. So, I think that's the first thing we should do, is get this Sky Village to look like it crashed into the island. So maybe have like a grass path that curls downwards with houses falling sideways and things like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. One thing I know for certain about building a grass path that's supposed to curl downwards and have falling houses that kind of go down. Going down is an absolute pain. I used to have to do things like water, and that would wash out like the snow path down there, the leaves down there, but I don't have to do that anymore because now I have scaffolding. And what that means is I can just use a metric crap ton of this stuff and essentially build up a humongous tower of scaffolding until it gets the height that I need it. Okay, that's weird. How did that happen? What's going on? This is so weird. Okay, so scaffolding is a little bit weird, but okay. Can I stand on this? I can. Wow, this is so weird. I'm on floating scaffolding. Wait a minute. These aren't ghost blocks, are they? Oh my goodness. I just might have made a discovery. Meep meep. I never studied law, so I don't know the law of gravity. Meep meep. So here we are, in the rain, in the dark. A horrible time to be recording, but I might as well give you a progress update. So I added a couple more houses. I extended out this grass path a little bit, and I've started experimenting with lanterns. I think these... I thought you could place them on the... Can't you, like, place them on the side of things? Oh, weird. Anyway, I started experimenting with lanterns as a way to light up this village. And I think this actually looks pretty good. Let's see, can I put a lantern on top of the fence? No. Can I put it inside the house? Yes, I can. Okay. So there we go. There's a couple of these new houses, and I also added this part here, which is kind of designed to look like a grass path that just started collapsing. Complete with, whoop, better not fall here, complete with an upside down house and a door that's kind of hanging off its hinges. So, yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Let me see if I can actually climb back up here. There we go. So this is intentionally designed to be a sidewalk or walkway that's completely falling apart. So here we go. I'm going to place these lanterns on the sides of the... That's weird that I can't place lanterns on the side of blocks. Could have sworn you could do that. That's weird. I could have sworn you could craft a bell. I guess you can't. In that case, I'm just gonna have to run into a village and raid it myself. So here we go. I kind of raided my own village, and now it is nighttime, and you know what? I'm gonna ring that bell. Don't ring that bell! Future Javamonk. First off, where are you? And second of all, why should I not ring the bell? You will unleash a monster. I've already unleashed a monster with the Eye of Sauron.
Get away from me!
Okay, so apparently this bell is cursed. So, yeah, I guess I'm just not gonna rain it again. So anyways, this right here, this giant structure that I just built, I suppose I could call it like a Longhouse. It's essentially designed to be a meeting place for all the villagers that I'll eventually bring to this village. So, here we go. It's got 2 sets of doors on each side, decorated with lanterns on the corners, and yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, in the actual village physics, in the actual village mechanics, the bell is actually considered the center of the village, I think. Don't quote me on that, because I might be horribly wrong. But yeah, the bell, I believe, is considered the center of the village. So, in fact, let's actually move this. I wonder what happens if I... Oh, so the bell breaks if I break its support block. Good to know. I'm thinking actually raising up the bell up to the level of those fences over there, so that way nobody accidentally rings it. So, basically, in order to ring it, you have to basically fire an arrow at it. So, here we go. Scaffolding. How did I ever build without it? It's still confusing, the way the placement works. But, yeah, now, I don't know how I've ever built without the scaffolding. This just makes things so much easier. Over here, I now have a farm, and this is going to be an actual physical farm because a villager is eventually going to end up selecting this composter as a workstation and become a farmer. Now, composters are pretty cool. They're not very efficient, but they're certainly pretty cool. I mean, I got 4 pieces of bone meal from composting about, let's see, 15 pieces of the 2 types of seeds. I composted 60 different things and got 4 pieces of bone meal. So, it's not exactly the most efficient thing in the world, but you know what? I'll take it. It's free bone meal. It's kind of like compound interest. It might not, even though the percentage might be extremely low, it's still free money. So, here we go. I'm just going to manually dig out the rest of this ice, and eventually I'll get a villager over that will become a farmer. Okay, the Sky Village is now fully built up. So we have houses on the edge with some lanterns hanging from the ceiling. And actually, while I'm walking through the village, I'm thinking let's place some villager workstations in each of these houses so that they can at least be partially functional. So, for example, the map maker's place should have a cartography table, because that's what cartographers use. So, let's see. The fisherman uses a barrel, so let's do that. And let's also hang a lantern inside, just to keep the place lit up. So now let's move on over here. We have the Fletcher's place, which uses a fletching table. We also have the mason. Let's actually change the sign here as well. This is the mason's hut. And let's also change the signs. The Fletcher's. There we go. So I'm going to change some signs and place some villager workstations. Let's see. I suppose I could put maybe a fishing pond next to the fisher's hut. Or maybe the fisher goes fishing in that Christmas themed landing pad with water in it. That could be an interesting idea. In the mason's hut, there's actually going to be both a stone cutter and a blast furnace. Just because this is the best place I could figure out to put these items. Oh, and also a note: the fletching table has no functionality yet. So because I'm currently in 1.14. Alright, we also have this giant building here, which is essentially like a meeting hall. So here we go. We have a nice big table with lanterns all around here. This cost a lot of iron, but thank goodness lanterns are crafted with iron nuggets, not iron ingots. So there we go. That's the Longhouse. I suppose that'd be a good thing to call it, a Longhouse. There's the bell, which I am not going to ring. Here's the farm, which has all the crops, all 4 possible farmable crops, along with a composter. So I can just remove this sign. And got stuck in the composter. Okay, the mini Parthenon has no. It doesn't have any workstation blocks for the villagers. Over here in the blacksmith's hut, let's actually move this sign. This is the blacksmith's hut, and it has quite a bit of functionality. So let's see, at least for the villagers. So it has both a smithing table and a grindstone. And smithing table also has no purpose, although personally I think this would be a perfect thing to use to craft fireworks. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And this one is the grindstone, which I actually have no idea how to use that thing. So there we go. This here, I actually built this just recently. This here is essentially like a giant church. So, hence the big J's on the top. So, there we go. Here's the church. Here's the interior of the church, which the light coming through the stairs actually looks really, really cool in my opinion. We have the chairs where all the villagers can sit. We got the 2 player heads, because that's what I felt like doing. And this is where the lectern is, which actually does have functionality, but I don't have any written books. So, there we go. That is the church. And then over here we have an animal farm. So, this is the animal pen, and currently it's not going to have any animals. So, let's just put the sign over here. Animal pen. At the moment, it's gonna be unoccupied. However, this is where the cauldron and the loom are going to be. I think we should put the. Whoops. Better get that cauldron. That is expensive to craft. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention this. Off camera, while I was building this, I had a husk spawn in the animal pen before I lit it up like crazy. And turns out that was the last mob I needed to kill. And now I have the Monsters Hunted advancement to kill one of every single hostile monster. So there we go. Major, major advancement get. So this animal pen is going to be home to the cauldron and the loom. These are blocks used by the shepherd and also the leather worker. I figured putting the leather worker near the animal pen was a good idea. And although, if I need a place for the cauldron, I suppose I could build a house over here, just off the side over here. And then lastly, at the end of the path, there is the tavern at the end of the universe, as reference to the restaurant at the end of the universe from the Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy trilogy. Which, fun fact, that trilogy actually has 5 books. Yeah, makes no sense. And this is actually home to both the smoker and the brewing stand. So, there are going to be villagers that work at the tavern at the end of the universe. So, now we have the exterior houses pretty much all built up. So, I think the interiors are going to come in a later episode. Because right now, I am kind of tired of this project, at least a little bit for now. So, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know. And I thank you for watching this. I'll see you next time.